A few weeks ago, you went on Channel 7 here and announced that you had made a mistake in judgment and endorsed for Attorney General Mr. Eric Holder, Mr. Barack Obama's nominee for the Attorney General in Arkansas. Said you'd known Mr. Holder for 10 years and counted him a personal friend, and you admitted that was a mistake. I will tell you that as I've traveled across Arkansas, Arkansans still to be extremely concerned and confused that you would make such an endorsement, such a glowing endorsement of someone whose ideology doesn't reflect the value of Arkansans.
Certainly, I would like to have John Ashcroft as Attorney General, but Barack Obama got elected. And I looked at this in the context of Eric Holder was a former prosecutor. I served as United States Attorney. We were in the courtroom together. I thought it was better to have a prosecutor than an academic. And so I wrote a letter of support to the Senate in his behalf. Let me tell you, it was a huge political mistake, but more importantly, the job that Eric Holder done has been totally unacceptable. I have acknowledged that that was a mistake. I went on television here in Little Rock and did that confession that it was a mistake, and called for his resignation as well in August of last year. And so as a gubernatorial candidate, I've called on his resignation as Attorney General. As someone back in 2008 in the private sector, I said, here's a colleague that would do a good job. I was wrong, and I've admitted that I was wrong.
Do you have a follow-up?
Is it a token?
You have a token?
Yes.
All right, that's your second of 3 tokens, Mr. Coleman.
I think there's still a lot of distress here for a lot of us, Asa, because the things that were known about Mr. Holder before you endorsed him are very disturbing. For instance, he enjoined a suit in the Supreme Court in which he said that no American has a Second Amendment right unless they're members of militia. He had made the statement publicly that he would rather ban guns than regulate them, and that was on an NRA blog. He said he took the position that no gun could be transferred even among members of family, like from a father to a son, without a federal background check. So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So then those are very disturbing things that were publicly known about Mr. Holder before you sent your letter of endorsement. They were in the Washington Post, New York Times, on national television. Those were all things I don't know how you could have escaped knowing. And I'm very distressed that you would know these things and still endorse someone with that kind of ideology. And I think that's critical for the future of Arkansas.
You have 30 seconds to respond, if you choose to.
Certainly. That's part of making a mistake. You acknowledge it. Curtis, you've been in business. Have you ever endorsed someone to work in someone else's factory and they didn't turn out to be a good worker? I mean, that's basically what happened here. You say there's some facts that are known. The NRA has asked me to do work for them. I've been a defender of the Second Amendment. The NRA understands exactly my position, which is in total agreement with their position on these things. And so that Bob Barr of Georgia, who's about as conservative as you can get, signed a similar letter. Many conservatives signed the same letter for the reasons that I did. I'm not justifying, I'm just giving you the context of it. I've acknowledged it as a mistake, and let's move on. I want to talk about the future of Arkansas.
All right.